It was April 10th, 96. And I was leaving that evening, get ready to go home. I heard a noise when I was leaving the barn. There was ice after jamming up against the machine, so I went over and turned the shaft and I fell back. I knew my arm was, there was no saving it that night. I was very lucky to be alive. Hi, my name is Billy. I lost my arm in a farming accident in 1996, and this is my story.
Yeah, this is the beast.
Yeah.
This is where I almost lost everything. My coveralls must have got entangled here in this little knob stuck out from the power takeoff, and it just hooked me in and dragged me into it, and I fell back towards the tractor and I just went around on that shaft, and that shaft there spins at 540 times a minute, so I was lucky to make it out of it, and throughout the whole process my arm had got beaten off on a piece of steel, and there wasn't a great lot left to it that night to salvage, and I suppose I'm lucky I didn't lose shoulder and all that night. I'm even more lucky I didn't lose my life.
I remember coming to idle down the tractor and then walked up to the barn and yelled out to my uncle that I needed 911 and my arm was gone. I was fully conscious. I went into the operating room that night before they put me to sleep. I came to the next morning and I could hear my mother and a doctor talking, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to tell me that they had to amputate the arm. And I sort of heard, and I knew when I came to it, I said, I know the arm is gone, but there was no saving it that night. The farm was my life. I grew up in the barn. We had a full-scale dairy operation at the time, so we milked cattle. I did a lot of machinery operation during the year. We did a lot of our own maintenance, so farming is a lifestyle. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Now I just go around, I do a few little odds and ends here and there. Depends on how good my right arm is. I've had a lot of issues with overusage, so I try to take it easy when I can, and I try to help out when I can. I had a prosthesis when I first lost my arm, but I found it heavy, clumsy. Come on, girls, come on. And where I was having so much phantom pain, the more I used the muscles that control the arm, the more pain I had. I got more used to, I could do more without it than I could with it. I'm quite content now without it. I started bowling, I guess, when I was probably 10, 12 years old. We used to bowl the Atlantics just about every year. Most of the years it was in Prince Edward Island, so that was my holiday. I'd go away for a bowling trip. I rolled in several leagues till I lost my arm. A couple of weeks after I got out of hospital, I called Fred Hawko up at St. Pat's, and he was encouraged me to come back and try whenever you feel up to it. It felt good to be back and to be bowling just as well, or probably even better than I did before I lost my arm. I bowled with a great group of guys, and through the span of 8 years, I think we won 6 out of 8 years. But the highlight of my career really came in 2013 when I made this Holly Lane's men's team. We got the right to go to the Nationals. And the Nationals that year were held in St. John's. At Holly Lane's the finals were. I think there was no other feeling in the world. It just give you pins and needles just to know that you're a national champion. I was bowling up till 3 years ago, and I had elbow issues, so I'd stopped bowling altogether. I started this year, I went out for a bit of fun one night, and I said, well, I don't feel too bad. So I've spared a couple of nights since, and I'm not throwing a great ball yet. I'm still a little rusty. I still struggle with some basic things. Some were obvious to be really stubborn at first. I wouldn't ask for help. But now if I go somewhere, if I got a coat on or a hoodie and it needs to give zipper up, there's someone there, instead of struggling with a zipper, now I'll ask. I lost my pride, I guess. The most difficult thing I had to deal with is actual phantom pain. Unfortunately, it doesn't go away. It affects my short-term memory at times, and sometimes even there's parts of my past that I just don't remember. I guess through the years, I've got a son that's 22 now. He was a month old when I lost my arm. So I had a lot to be hopeful and willing to do at the time. I guess you call him a little bit my inspiration. And the fact that I knew I should have been dead at the time. I'm a happy-go-lucky person, and I try not to let most stuff get me down. There is times that you do get a little bit upset and distraught with yourself when you struggle with stuff, but you can't give up on things. You got to take life by the horns and deal with what you're done with and just move onward.